Hi, and welcome to a Movies You May Have Missed supplemental episode. This is sort of an impromptu throwdown recording because I finally had a chance to go see Inglorious Basterds. Actually, I went with my pal Yuri, who you might have seen in our Rec episode. He was our first guest on the show.
Can I ask you a question, Juan?
What's that?
What's with the empty third chair?
Oh, I just, this is the first time that we've, recorded one in the...
Oh my God! Fell
Hey.
from the ceiling.
Oh man, and we have low ceilings in this place.
And we went down. We finally got a chance to see it. I've been in media blackout for this film since I saw trailers for it. So I had no idea what the movie was going to be about. And I have to say, I had a really fun time with the movie. Now, I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about the film. If you want reviews of the film or if you want spoilers or discussions of the film, I'm sure there are many better places to go. And you can catch me on Twitter if you want, and we can talk about it there. But here, I had a curious thought in leaving the theater, and it was something that Yuri and I had talked about a little beforehand too, was coming into the end of the summer, two of my favorite films, Inglorious Basterds and District 9, relied really heavily on subtitled dialogue that many of the main characters didn't speak English. And we're not trying to compare the two films here by any means, or two radically different types of experiences, but we both thought that was a really interesting, used for a really interesting effect. And it's something that I personally will hope to see more of in the future. It was just something that we thought was really interesting, because if you've seen any of our previous shows, like the episode we did on Intacto, or the episode that Yuri was in with us and we talked about the movie Rec, I really feel that very often we as Americans sort of get the short end of the stick when it comes to some of these properties that are being produced overseas. And I really feel that a big reason for why we never get to see these movies is the fact that they're in foreign languages, and distribution and production have little faith that, presenting an American audience with a movie where they'll have to read subtitles, that they'll see a return on their investment. And so these movies end up getting no distribution here. And in a case like a movie like Rec, we went and completely remade that movie as Quarantine just to have that same experience provided for Americans. But having seen now Inglorious Basterds and District 9, I kind of hope that there's a little more faith that you can make a successful movie that doesn't rely on having everyone speak English. If it's an alien, it's okay for that alien to speak a foreign language. I mean, we learned that lesson back with Star Wars. Or if it's a movie about Germans or the French or Italians, that they can speak German, French, or Italian. Now, I'm not saying that's going to change overnight, but even taking a movie like Rec or Intacto, and even just giving it an art house release, a very, very small, limited, just word of mouth, internet campaign, advertising, a couple movie posters up in a localized area, and that's like free money. Even if that movie only does a couple $100,000, or, maybe even less than that, just the act of putting it up on screens means that you've made money for very little overhead in getting that movie brought over here to the United States. And every now and then that means you're going to lock into that sleeper film that's just going to blow up and do huge, huge business. You can't get those, though, if you don't put the movies out there. So I don't really have a cute little wrap-up or anything like this for this. I just thought it was an interesting convention that two of the most successful movies of the summer weren't afraid of giving American audiences subtitles, and both were really pleasurable experiences for me. In terms of Inglorious Basterds, I will say that if you're a fan of Tarantino's work, you're really going to like this movie. And even if you're not a fan of Tarantino's work, if you can handle some R-rated violence, it's a really interesting movie, and it's definitely one worth seeing. And same goes for District 9. If you can handle a little fantasy violence, then I think these movies both speak to a slightly more literate crowd of movie-going audience, and I really appreciated that. So anyway, like I said, no cute wrap-up. I hope to see more films with subtitles in the future based on the success of these two films. I hope to see more filmmakers who aren't afraid of giving us subtitles where appropriate, not just for subtitle sake. But yeah, I would say go out, catch these movies because they're a lot of fun. Don't forget to catch us on the main show. We're just now opening up our new domain. The website doesn't look fantastic yet, but you can catch us there at mymhm.tv. So that's really exciting. We're always around on Twitter at MYMHM. Or you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MYMHM. And so I'm Juan, speaking for Movies You May Have Missed. And I hope to talk to you soon. I hope that you'll go catch these movies. And I hope you'll have a good time with them. So have a good night. There's a fly here in Southern California.